Good afternoon and welcome to today's coverage of the Pitching In Northern Premier League live from First Cloud Arena as South Shields take on Marine. Marine go into this one without a win in 3 games, having been defeated on Bank Holiday Monday by playoff rivals Warrington Rylands. But the opposition doesn't come any tougher than today's, with league leaders South Shields looking to go 5 unbeaten. Commentating today is me, Luke Feather, and I'm joined by Adam Tiffin. Adam, what do you expect from the Marine today?
I think it'll be a tough game, and welcome to everyone who's joined us for the stream. A tough game against league leaders, especially off the back of last week's performance. It'll be a good test to see how the team bounces back from one of the poorer results we've had so far this season. But when you're going up against a team with the backing and quality that South Shields has, it's always going to be a test, and that's what Marine need.
As you mentioned, South Shields, a side heavily tipped to go on and win the title in pre-season. They've got masses of Football League experience amongst their ranks. Gary Liddell, Thomas Broadbent, among others. We're about 4 or 5 minutes from kickoff. We wait for the players to make their way down the tunnel and out onto the pitch. So as we wait, we will just run through the 2 lineups, starting with the home side, South Shields. So in goal, it's number 1, Miles Boney. Number 2, Jordan Hunter. Number 3, Thomas Broadbent. Number 4, Gary Liddell. Number 5, Dylan Morse. Number 6, Martin Smith. Number 7, Geordie Mongoy. Number 8, Robert Briggs. Number 9, Darius Asai. Number 10, Mackenzie Heaney. Number 11, the captain, Blair Adams. And on the bench for South Shields, it's number 12, Josh Doherty. Number 14, Dylan Motley Henry. Number 15, Lewis Alessandra. Number 16, Michael Woods. And number 17, João Gomez Carrington. And your Marine team, starting in goal, it's number 1, Bailey Passant. Number 2, Josh Solomon Davis. Number 3, Sean Smith. Number 4, Mark Howarth. Number 5, James Barragan. Number 6, Jonathan Spittle. Number 7, Lucas Weir. Number 8, the captain today, it's Charlie Doyle. Number 9, Hayden Campbell. Number 10, Sol Solomon. And number 11, Andrew Scarisbrick. On the bench for your Mariners, it's number 12, Luke Clark. Number 14, Callum Harris. Number 15, Jordan Lussey. Number 16, Mo Torre, and number 17, Alex Doyle. So looking at that lineup, Adam, how do you expect Marine to line up?
I'd expect it to be sort of similar to how we've lined up for most of the season so far. That's sort of standard 4-3-3. Obviously, it's annoying to not have Josh Wardle in the squad as the teams come out here. He's out due to suspension, but I'm sure Mark Howarth couldn't do a job, but it's going to be a big test up against South Shields today.
So that noise that you can hear is the sound of the 2 sets of players making their way out onto the pitch. We are expecting a massive crowd here today at First Cloud Arena. South Shields, the league leaders, of course, having played 21 games, 13 wins, 15 draws, and just 3 defeats, leaves them on 44 points. 9 points better off than Marine, and with a game in hand. Marine have slipped to 6th in the table following 3 games without a win. The most recent of which, that 3-1 defeat at home to Warrington Rylands, a very disappointing result given the good form that Marine had been in. Before that, a Boxing Day draw at Warrington Town, seen as a much better result, really, to go away to a playoff rival and pick up a point. 2 sets of players out on the pitch now. Interesting one. Hayden Campbell back in the team today. He's not someone that's featured so heavily in the last couple of months. He's included ahead of Mo Torre today. How do you see that playing out, Adam?
I think it's a really big opportunity for him because since he had a great run of scoring and then he picked up a few injuries, and since then he's not really had that consistent run in the team that he had that led to the run of goals. It's led him to be the top scorer for the club this season. So I think this today is a big chance for him to re-establish himself in that front 3.
Hayden Campbell, as you say, Marine's top goal scorer this season, 11 goals to his name. Last scored in the league up at Morpeth Town, not too far away from today's opposition.
And what a goal it was.
And that spectacular goal from inside his own half in the dying moments. Marine very well back today. The supporters coach, about 50 fans made the way up. We expect there to be over 100 Mariners here today. And that's Marine Mariners. Of course, South Shields also go by the Mariners. It's going to be the home side, 2 kickers off. Marine in all blue, South Shields in their usual burgundy and white strip. Marine shooting from left to right as we look at it. It's for Mariners. Take on the Mariners. It's first versus sixth. Live from First Cloud Arena. There's a little bit of a delay as linesman's come onto the pitch to have a word with one of the South Shields players. Just to confuse matters, the player on the pitch for South Shields is wearing the number 17, so we'll try and work out who he's come in and placed for. It's a very late change. The printed lineup in front of us has number 17, João Gomez Carrington, on the bench. We'll work that out as we go, but South Shields get us underway. Lucas Weir can't quite take it down in the centre of the pitch before Spittle tries to put his foot through it. Headed forward again by Blair Adams, up towards Carrington. Nicked off in by Charlie Doyle, and the last touch came off of Carrington, and it's going to be a throw-in for Josh Solomon Davis in right back for Marine to take. So similar to how we have seen Marine line up in recent weeks, it looks like Solomon and Campbell are going to be leading the line with Andrew Scarisbrick just behind those two.
Yeah, it looks more of a 4-4-2 than what we expected. We maybe thought Scarisbrick might have led through the middle a bit deeper, sort of a false 9 role, but it looks like they're setting up in a sort of more traditional 4-4-2.
Ball wide now with Sean Smith. Looks to cross the halfway line and spread it wide. He's given Barragan a little bit to do over on that far side, but he's got there, and I think he's won. No, he's not won the first corner of the match. It's a throw-in down by the corner flag, and it has gone Marine's way. It's going to be the left back, Sean Smith, to takes it quickly into Barragan, back to the left back Smith. Barragan gets it back, tries to work it back onto his left foot. Good challenge in there, and the free kick is given South Shields' way. Challenging there from Martin Smith, the midfielder, back doing his defensive work. We mentioned the wealth of experience that this South Shields side has. One of the bigger budgets in the league. Gary Liddell at centre-back perhaps personifies that more than most. Over 700 Football League appearances for various clubs, including Chesterfield and Carlisle. Big switch of play from Sean Smith to his opposite fullback, Solomon Davis, who's given a little bit of space to run into. He's closed down now, so he's infield to Campbell. Back to Charlie Doyle, the skipper today. Forward again to Campbell. Looks to dink it wide to the right back, Solomon Davis. Can't quite beat his man, and Blair Adams can sweep up back to Briggs. And his clearance deflects off of Solomon Davis and out for South Shields throw-in in a left back position to be taken by the skipper, Blair Adams. So it looks like the home side lined up with 3 at the back. Gary Liddell sitting in the middle of that trifecta. An early change of shirt as Jordan Mongoy, who originally lined up with the number 17 on his back, has been handed the number 7. Strange on, and here is Mongoy down the left wing, down the right wing, looks to get it past Smith, unable to do so. Back to the right back Hunter, deep cross into the back post, which Scarisbrick can watch out in a right back position for Marine.
Yeah, I wonder whether there's been a late change and Mongoy has left the starting lineup, or whether he's simply just wearing the wrong shirt. Not really much.
We'll try and verify that as the game goes on. Solomon Davis with a throw down the line, straight to Adams though. South Shields unable to do anything with it after winning possession, but Lucas Weir puts the ball into touch. Blair Adams gets the ball back, ready to get us back underway with a throw-in. He's got options down the line. Throws infield for Heaney, who's unable to find the run of Asai, and it's out for a goal kick for Marine. So, first goal kick of the game for Bailey Passon. Of course, Hero up at Warrington Town, saved that penalty. One kick forward up towards Charlie Doyle, but it's bounced over his head and the head of Hayden Campbell. Out for a throw-in. Blair Adams to take. Looking for runners down the line. He's got Asai, who uses his body well to hold it up. For Briggs, spreads it wide to Jordan Hunter over on the far side at right wing back today for South Shields. Into Smith, and all the way back now to Liddell. Liddell spreads play out to Broadbent, who's got a little bit of space to run into from this left centre back position. Tries to slide the ball forward towards Mongoy. But the flag is up over on the far side against the number 7. So it's going to be a free kick for Marine.
I have to say, it's a great noise being made by the South Shield fans over behind their goal to start the game.
Yeah, just
obviously we'll see whether when you get into sort of the 70th minute, whether it's still the same. Depends on the scoreline, I'd imagine.
Here's Scarisbrick looking to make his way into the penalty area. He tries to slide it across, but good challenge in there from Liddell. And Marine at their first corner of the match. 6 minutes in, if you're just joining us, it's Marine. South Shields 0, Marine 0. Trip to the league leaders today for Marine. A tough ask. Marine are more than capable of putting up a good challenge. Here's Lucas Weir, good in-swinging corner in towards the back post. It's met by Spittle, but it more bounces off his head than a attempt on goal. Boney able to come off his line and clear that one up. Rolls it out for Martin Smith in the middle of the park. Out wide now to Broadbent. He's got Adams to his left. Scarisbrick putting the pressure on in there, but Adams is able to shift it to Martin Smith in midfield again. Sort of deep holding midfield role. Out wide to Liddell. And then Briggs looks to fire it quickly forward up towards Mongoy. And the linesman's flag is up, and there's a little bit of disgruntlement from the South Shields fans, and to be honest, understandably so. He looked to be a good couple of yards onside there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's given that. He was in a great position, to be fair to him. So I'd imagine he must have just taken a quick step back behind the line to back in front of the defence when the ball was played, but yeah.
You'd like to think that the linesman's not got that one wrong, soon as it was about 3 yards in front of him.
Definitely.
All the better for Marine. Long ball forward from Bailey Passon. Solomon goes up to challenge, but there's Lucas Weir in there trying to win the second ball. Briggs is back doing his defensive duties. Solomon just takes it off of Sean Smith, but out wide now to Scarisbrick. Weir, sorry. Sean Smith loses out. Ball back to Hunter and away. Mark Halifair to win the ball. South Shields regain possession. Out wide now to Blair Adams, looking to come inside from his usual left wing back position. Back to Gary Liddell. Smith wide to Adams now, and further wide to Broadbent, who's ventured forward. Good tackling there from Scarisbrick, out for a throw-in.
You can see when they're going forward that Scarisbrick's almost dropping into a bit of a right wing back position. He's really deep. As Solomon Davies fouls Osei just around the edge of the D. Not the edge of the D, sorry, the edge of the centre circle.
A free kick in a promising position for South Shields. Solomon Davis just getting a bit of a talking to by the referee, Josh Hall. Nothing more than that early on in the game. Just 9 minutes played so far. We are still goalless at the First Cloud Arena. Gary Liddell steps up to take it quickly to Smith. Looks to arrow one in with his left foot. Weir misses with the clearance. Great save from Passengers aside. Got onto the end of it. He's been bailed out there a little bit. Lucas Weir swung a foot at it, but unable to clear. Aside couldn't make it count for the home side. Big chance.
Yeah, that's the quality of Bailey passing, just to bail out his teammates when they make a slight mistake in the box. Weir just lunging to try and clear it, didn't sort his feet out as he was going for the ball, and Bailey got out quickly to limit the angles and block the shot of Ossé.
First port of call for Bailey Passant this afternoon. And a good start to the game. As Heaney turns on it and then spreads it wide to Hunter, the right wing back. Just about keeps it in and plays it infield to Briggs. Briggs looking to get it forward now to Mongoy. Sean Smith intercepts and into the feet of Hayden Campbell. Charlie Doyle now wide to Weir, closed down quickly by Mongoy, and here's Briggs. Into Heaney, looks to play it forward quickly to Mongoy. Good play between Heaney and Mongoy. Heaney has it again on his left foot, tries his luck, just over. Another good chance for South Shields. Good bit of play between the number 10, Mackenzie Heaney, and Jody Mongoy. Quick 1-2s in the build-up before Heaney let fly with his left foot. Not too far over the bar. They're finding openings. South Shields. Four-man Marine midfield need to tighten up a little bit. Shields are finding too much space in the centre of the pitch as Barragan picks it up for Marine. Looks to dink it up towards Solomon. Picked up by Weir, and here's Smith. Tries with a little back heel into the path of Weir, but too much on that one and out for a throw-in.
Yeah, we're just struggling to get out. When we get those goal kicks, we're just struggling to get out because we don't have that aerial presence up front. And Gary Liddell's dominating those aerials, duels. We're not winning any second balls, so then when we do get the ball, if we do get the ball from those second balls, those knockdowns, then they swarm on us very quickly. You can tell these lads are decent, as you'd expect, being top of the league.
It's Solomon Davis now under a bit of pressure from Asai. Manages to spread it wide to Scarisbrick. Cuts inside and takes a bit of a tumble, but referee having none of it. Robert Briggs picks it up and plays it back to Liddell, and out wide now with Smith. Back to Liddell. Into the midfield again. Very fluent in there between Smith and Briggs manages to play it forward to Heaney. Good turn. Wants to get it back onto his left foot. Square ball to Smith. Hunter screaming for the ball out wide. Doesn't give it to him. Back to Briggs. Infield now to Mongoy. He's got a little bit of space to run into. Osai ahead of him, but back to Heaney it goes. Good switch of play over towards Hunter, who finally gets the ball over on the far side. A little bit of a late one as the ball's bouncing up from Sean Smith, and Hunter takes a tumble. Free kick given. I think Smith feels as if the ball was there to be won as it bounced up, but I think he did catch the man, and we are going to get our first booking of the afternoon, and it goes to Marines left back Sean Smith.
Yeah, it looks like one of those ones where even if the ball's there to be won, it looks like he sort of, even if he went in with his toe, which he might have done, but it's a risky challenge to make when the ball's up in the air like that. Just poking your foot in when the player's trying to play the ball.
Now this represents a chance for South Shields to get a ball into the box. We sent Dylan Morse and Gary Liddell forward, as well as Thomas Broadbent. In fact, only Jordan Hunter and Blair Adams stay back for the home side. Heaney stood over the ball, left-footed, in swinger, headed up but not quite away by Charlie Doyle. Taken down in the box well by Broadbent, looks to fire it back across box, but it's intercepted by Howarth. Looks to play a quick one up towards Solomon. Couldn't quite poke it round Hunter, good defended in the end by Hunter. Last touch came off Solomon, it's going to be a throw-in to be taken by Adams. Charlie Doyle eager to push his team up the pitch. He's the furthest forward of those midfielders at the moment, which is interesting. Throw in towards Mongoy, but he goes down under the challenge from Howarth, and South Shields have a free kick just inside their own half. A couple of supporters unhappy with the challenge, maybe suggesting that Howarth should have received the booking for that, but there's never a yellow card challenge really. Here's Broadbent in towards Asai. Smith looks to slide it through quickly to Blair Adams, who continued his run, but cleared away now by Marine. And here's Hayden Campbell. Good turn in the centre of the pitch, but it's a good challenge on the recovery from Smith into Briggs, and now out wide with Hunter. Plays it across his own penalty area, back to Liddell. South Shields really dominating the ball in these opening 15 minutes. Out wide now to Broadbent. Looks to play it wide to Adams, but Adams had just started to come inside. So it's a loose one, and it's out for a Marine throw-in.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough day up front for Solomon and Campbell. When they get the ball, they're going to have to really do some special things with it to create chances for themselves, because they're just swarming on them as soon as the ball goes near them. And the way we're setting up, looking quite pragmatic, and you can understand why. So yeah, it's going to be a tough day for them.
Much of the link-up play being relied upon Hayden Campbell, who's more of a number 10 than a natural number 9, so you would expect him to drop in to those number 10 positions as Mark Howarth is called into a bit of defensive work inside his own half, puts the ball into touch just over Neil Young and his team's dugout. So it's a throw in high up the pitch in a left back position for Blair Adams. Here's Heaney. A challenge from Doyle, but he skips away from Doyle. So Solomon Davis standing him up. Heaney keeps the ball. Back to Smith. Looking for options ahead of him. Looks to dink the ball over the top. Bailey passing off his line quickly. Good defending. Good goalkeeping, sorry, from the Marine number 1. Rolls it out quickly to Sean Smith. Couple of options down the line, but can't quite find them in the end. Runs out of space. He's frustrated with himself, the former Ballerman. He runs out for a throw-in. Smith back to Liddell. South Shields starts again from the back. Liddell steps into midfield now. He's had the ball nicked off him. A chance for Marine to counter-attack as Hayden Campbell picks up the ball. But the move has really slowed down, and all the way back to Johnny Spittle, to centre-back partner Howarth. Tries a long diagonal over towards Solomon, just a bit too much on that, and Boney is off his line well to gather. But Marine in those situations, Adam, they have to be quicker on the counter-attack.
Definitely, definitely.
Ooh. A few oohs and ahs from the crowd there as Darius Asai goes in, looking to flick the ball forward, but Charlie Doyle, very brave in there head first. Physio's onto the pitch. And I think it's going to be a yellow card for Darius Asai for high boot. The ball was there to be won, to be fair, but I suppose the studs may have been showing.
I think it was just the height of it. Doyle wasn't reaching down to head it. He was at full stretch trying to reach the ball. Ossei's gone up for it. The ball was there to be won. I don't think he's connected with him too hard. Doyle's pretty much up already. Hopefully there's no actual damage to him, but yeah, he's going to get a booking for that if you get that challenge wrong.
Charlie Doyle continues to receive a little bit of treatment on the pitch from the Marine physio. Darius Asai joins Sean Smith in the referee's book. Looks like Doyle just took a bit of a whack, no cuts or bruises.
Yeah, back to the point you were saying about we need to be quicker in those scenarios. We definitely do, because it was a great opportunity. You nicked the ball off Liddell as he was driving forward. All of a sudden we find ourselves pretty much man for man going forward, probably 4-on-4, 5-on-5. And they just look very anxious. They look too timid, and it's those situations people need to take those opportunities to bomb forward, spread the pitch out a bit, and give likes of Hayden Campbell that running space to drive at the defence.
Charlie Doyle ready to come back on, and under new laws he should be allowed to be on the pitch already. But he will have to wait before he's summoned back onto the pitch by the referee. Mark Howarth with the free kick. Doyle is back on now. Headed away is the free kick by Shields. Lucas Weir looks to keep it alive over on the far side. Started in a sort of left midfield position over there, as you said, more of a 4-4-2 today than a 4-3-3. You'd expect Weir to tuck in when needed defensively. There's just too much on that ball from Howarth out towards Weir, and he can't quite keep it in. Jordan Hunter to get us back underway with a throw-in.
I think Howarth just needs to be a bit more confident on the ball there. Plenty of time, just pick out a pass and have that confidence to receive the ball back again if needs be.
I think that would be my main criticism of Howarth when he does play, especially at centre-back. He's too often trying to play the killer ball too often instead of retaining possession. Out wide now with Hunter in midfield to Briggs. The ball was bobbling, but he's done well to play it forward towards Mongo. He's given Smith a little bit to think about, who heads it back across goal, picked up by his side, but he's forced wide. Lays it back off to Smith, to Briggs. High wide and not very handsome from Robert Briggs. A few sarcastic jeers from the Marine faithful.
You've got to just give credit there to Osei for reading the header back to Passant from Smith, but we got back in well defensively, in a good defensive shape to stop him, and obviously a not very well hit shot.
I think we're on to our second ball of the game, courtesy of South Shields manager Kevin Phillips. Of course, a very familiar name amongst Premier League fans. Passant looking to just slow the game down. 20 minutes played. And we are South Shields 0, Marine 0. Best chance of the game falling for Darius Asai. Kept out well by Bailey Passant, who does get the ball moving once again. Long goal kick up towards Campbell. Can't quite shift it on towards Solomon. The ball's back with Morse now. Looks to spread it wide for Hunter, but he's not the best ball. Manages to nip in there before Weir and keep the ball, however. Back to Morse. Square ball to Liddell. And all the way across to Broadbent. Looks to charge forward. Good challenge in there from Doyle, but I think Solomon penalised for pulling Broadbent back as he looked to charge forward. Free kick just inside the Marine half for South Shields.
Especially in the modern game, you can tell a team's decent when they're playing, risky balls. You hear the crowds getting a bit jittery, and they're all of a sudden they're up by your defence within one or two passes.
Yeah, they are playing the ball around very confidently, very comfortably at times too. Here's Liddell, probably seen the most of the ball. Briggs and Smith shift it on to Morse. Started at right centre-back for Shields.
I think Neil Young will be pretty happy with Liddell having a lot of possession. He just won't want the ball being played through into the midfield on the half-turn. I'm sure they'd be fine to face up Liddell, let him have plenty of touches, but you're going to have the likes of Doyle and Barragan sitting on the midfield, is not allowing them.
Briggs looks to play a long ball forward up towards Mongo. It bounces ahead of him, and there is the game's opening goal. Cool as you like from Jordi Mongoy. Just for one long ball forward over the top from Robert Briggs. Controlled well by Mongoy and lofted over the onrushing Bailey Passant. 23 minutes played, South Shields 1, Marine 0.
Yeah, almost a bit of commentator's curse there, I've got to admit. So apologies for that one, saying happy to have Liddell and the defenders on the ball and you don't want those passes, but I don't know which of the defenders it was, but it was a beautiful ball over the top, really nicely flighted. Howarth didn't turn quick enough to read it and intercept it. And you got to give credit to Mongoy for the finish, nicely lifted over Passant. Not always the easiest finishes it's not something that you see strikers doing all the time. Lifted it over the keeper, really nice into the far corner. They've been good. You've got to admit they have been good, and you can tell why they are top of the league.
Marine, a goal down with work to do. Jordi Mongoy's fourth goal for the club. Gives Marine a mountain to climb. Blair Adams looks to get us back underway from a throw-in. It's met by Scarisbrick, headed up and out, lands on the roof of the Shields dugout. Thrown into the body of Heaney. Manages to shift it well onto Robert Briggs. Good switch of play over to Hunter. He does really well to flick it over Sean Smith and retain possession. They do look really confident now. Shields. Marine just have to ride this storm. But it's picked up over on the far side. Here's Solomon. His first real dribble of the game. It's nicked off him though by Hunter, who can charge forward once again. Options to his right in Mongoy. Cuts back inside the goal scorer. And all the way back. Spreads it wide over to Broadbent. Infield now to Briggs under a bit of challenge. Under a bit of pressure from his opposite number, Charlie Doyle. And the ball is back now all the way to the goalkeeper, Boney. He's been pretty much a spectator in these first 25 minutes. Plays a long ball forward up towards Asai. Spittle goes down under the challenge from Asai. And the free kick is given. Bailey passing out of his goal to take. But Mark Califf nicks it off him quickly and spreads it wide to Solomon Davis. Here's Spittle looking to play a long sweeping ball forward. Headed out of play by Broadbent. Gives Marine a chance to get a few yards up the pitch with a throw-in.
You wonder what approach the boys will take now. Do they, try and even things up, or do you think, what we'll sit in, ride out the storm, and take this game as long as we can with a 1-0 deficit and see what we can get at the end?
I think they have to be cautious of going for it too much too soon. We've seen how quickly Shields can get the ball forward. The Scarisbrick wins a corner for Marine. It's from the right-hand side, so it's going to be an in-swinger from a left boot of Lucas Weir. In towards the centre, it's headed out. I think it's Morsey in there. It's headed back into the box towards Spittle. Looks to turn and shoot. Falls for Scarisbrick. It's bouncing around and eventually cleared away by a combination of Broadbent and then Hunter. But Hunter has it nicked off him by Scarisbrick. Turns well. No nonsense clearance from Martin Smith, and someone in the crowd's taking a whack there. Will be a painful one in a cold afternoon in the northeast. Marine throw-in, about 20 yards from the corner flag, to be taken by Sean Smith, the left back. Back to Barragan. It's Smith again. Looks to poke it forward, but Hunter does well to cut it out, and it's out of play from Hunter. Another Marine throw-in. Taken quickly by Smith, but it's put out of play by Hunter. A bit of a needless corner to give away there for Shields, so can Marine take advantage?
Bit of good momentum for us here. And just even getting some shots off, putting some pressure into because these fans won't be used to, teams coming here and doing well. So if you can get a big crowd like this to get a bit nervy, the players will get nervy as well.
Corner taken in by Solomon. It's had to be tipped over by Boney. We've seen him do it before, for Marine and for his former club, Jersey Bulls. Something that he's not afraid to try, Sol Solomon. Didn't quite come off on this occasion. Decent attempt. Miles Boney tipped it over the crossbar. It will be another corner on the other side. Weir to take. Barragan's come across to offer his services from a short option, but he's been ushered away by Weir. Ball in towards the 6-yard box. Very crowded 6-yard box, it must be said. Headed away, and here's Jordan Hunter. Looks to smash it forward quickly up towards Mackenzie Heaney, but out of play on the halfway line. I think the final touch may have come off of Sean Smith there. It's going to be a throw-in for the home side on the halfway line. Hunter in absolutely no rush at all to jog up and take this one. As Hunter throws it in quickly to Smith before half volleying back to Morse. Across to Liddle. And all the way across once again to Broadbent. Broadbent carries it forward into the feet of Mongoy just beyond him. Spittle can sweep up and play it back to his goalkeeper, Passant. Good decisive clearance from Bailey. It's Charlie Doyle now. Looks to poke it forward up towards Weir, and here's Smith. Looking for options ahead of him. He's got Campbell down the line if he can find him. He tries to dink it down the line. No one had really made the run. Runs through to the goalkeeper, Boney. Before Liddle takes it off his toe. Ooh, plays a risky looking ball wide to Broadbent. Campbell wasn't a million miles away from that one. Good pressure there from Campbell to force Broadbent into playing the ball. Scarisbrick looks to dink it forward now for Campbell. Can he get a ball into the box? He can't, but final touch comes off of Gary Liddle, and it will be another Marine corner. But a good spell here, Adam.
Yeah, definitely. It's just we're looking a bit more confident on the ball, and when we're pressing, it's almost that you concede and you've got that relief off your shoulders of where you're not just holding out for the 0-0. Now you've got a bit more freedom to go for it, and the players are pressing a bit better. They're putting more pressure onto these close and tight balls.
It's not the best corner coming in from Weir there. Just lands on the roof of the net. The wind has picked up slightly inside the stadium. It just work in Marine's favour in this first half. Half an hour played, South Shields 1, Marine 0. Courtesy of that 24th minute goal from Geordie Mongoy. Goal kick's taken quickly to Gary Liddle before a long punt forward up towards Asai. Asai turns on it and plays it back to Smith, all the way back to Liddle now. And Morse looks to launch it forward again towards Asai. Good head out by Howarth. Here's Weir. Barragan can't quite play it forward to a man in blue. So Smith picks it up and out wide to Adams. Back to Broadbent. Confident enough to step into midfield away from Campbell. His pass is cut out by Solomon Davis, though. Good defending in there. Wins aside a throw-in. Here's Howarth. Wide now for Sean Smith. Back to Howarth. Plays for first time ball forward. It's defended well in there by South Shields. Heavy touch from Charlie Doyle, but here's Scarisbrick, 25 yards from goal. Looks to poke it into the path of Solomon. Too much on that one and picked up by Boney.
Scarisbrick's looking lively. He's getting in those spaces where he's looking for Campbell and Solomon making those little runs in behind, but he's just not quite had the quality to put them in a great position.
A reminder of the Marine substitutes today. It's Luke Clark, Callum Harris, Jordan Lussey, Mo Torre and Alex Doyle. So there are other options in midfield should Marine look to switch things up at any point. It's a very lopsided midfield in the fact that there's two left footers in there. Not something that you would usually see for Marine. Barragan and Weir both in the midfield position. It's Sean Smith as well to spread the play out to Solomon Davis, who's got a bit of space to run into. Martin Smith coming across the challenge now and out for a throw-in. Charlie Doyle looks to be the closest man to Solomon Davis to provide an option from this throw-in. Scarisbrick lurking inside the penalty area also. Solomon now, but back to Charlie Doyle. Not the best touch from Doyle. Runs through to Scarisbrick in the penalty area. Good footwork. Back to Solomon. Wants to shift it onto his right foot. Dink it back across goal. And it's an unmarked header for Hayden Campbell. Fantastic ball across the penalty area from Sol Solomon. And Marine's top goal scorer Campbell gets his 12th of the season with a diving header at the back post. It's South Shields 1, Marine 1.
I know he's not going to get credited for it in the assists or goals column, but that is all come from Scarisbrick down that right-hand side. Loose ball, picked it up in the box, worked out, stopped it from going out of play, laid it back to Solomon, created a bit of space for himself, lovely ball to the back post, and Hayden Campbell slots it in.
It all looked a little bit innocuous, to be fair. The throw into Scarisbrick, he looked like he was right where the Shields defenders wanted him. Managed to just about poke it forward to Solomon, who again was closed down, but lovely dink ball in towards the back post, and Hayden Campbell was completely unmarked at the back post to dive in and head in. Suddenly, we are back on level terms. 10 minutes to go until half time. Good time to score for the Mariners. South Shields get us back underway. Look to spread it quickly out towards Blair Adams, who can dart in field. He's got a side wide now for him down the left. Spittles trying to keep him wide, dives in with a challenge, and Asai gets past him, but Solomon Davis doesn't allow the run to continue. Adams now ready to take the throw in. Towards the feet of Heaney, who's been a little bit quiet for the last 5 or 10 minutes. Has it nicked off him by Scarisbrick. Fantastic footwork before looking to release Solomon. Swept up well by Morse, back to his goalkeeper Boney. Solomon continues the pressure before the goalkeeper clears well. Up towards the side. Linesman's flag is up. Linesman claiming that Asai had come back from an offside position to control the ball, much to the displeasure of the home supporters in front of me.
That's one word for it.
Passant to get us back underway with this free kick.
You can tell we're in the north. Floodlights on, 20 to 4.
Just glad that sun's gone down. Long ball forward from Passant. Up towards Campbell, runs out of play. Out for a goal kick to be taken by Passant's opposite number, Miles Boney. He's not had a save to make so far. The only involvement that he could have had was the goal, and he was nowhere near that.
Yeah, I don't think you can really discredit him with the goal. It was just a really good ball over the top by Solomon, over the top of him, just to find Campbell at the back post. Not poor position or anything, there's nothing much he could have done about it. Maybe you could say the defenders could have been a bit more aware of Campbell's position, but I think that's just the moment of quality that I was speaking about earlier that we needed from the strikers.
Good challenging there from Barragan, although it is a strong one, and the referee's blown his whistle straight away as Briggs has stayed down. Maybe it was a little bit of a lunge, and the physios making their way onto the pitch now.
I don't think it was a bad challenge, but I think it was just the force that the South Shields man was trying to pass with, and the collision of that into Barragan's foot. I don't even know if it was into his foot. He may have even just kicked the ball, and the momentum is what's caused the pain. But it looks like Barragan's going to go into the book.
Yep, third yellow card of the afternoon. Goes to a regular recipient, must be said, James Barragan.
I think if you'd asked Neil Young, this could be one of his best scenarios in terms of if he'd gone in at 0-0, there's still that nerviness around the game. They may have been the ones controlling things, whereas if you're the ones to score, and again, hopefully I'm not jinxing this, there's no wood to touch around us, but if you're going in having scored the second of the 2 goals in the half and it's 1-1, you're the ones with the momentum, you're the ones confident, and these lot who are top of the table, it's good to test them, see what they're like when they're not winning.
One thing, it's a very good response after going behind from Marine, but one thing that perhaps they could improve on is the amount of shots that they are getting away. Just for 1 shot on target so far, 1 goal. You know, can't argue with that conversion rate, but
no, not at all.
Miles Boney hasn't been tested too often.
I think that's just to do with how we've set up. We've been pretty pragmatic in where we've set up. One thing I've noticed is that Barragan started more out on the left-hand side as that left mid, whereas he's come into the centre now, and Lucas Weir's taken that role over. Just a bit more energy in the midfield, I think Barragan offers compared to Weir. Looks like the number 8's up now.
So Robert
South
Briggs
Shields.
back to his feet now. Getting applauded off the pitch over on the far side by his home support. Good to see him back to his feet. It was a couple of minutes, but he was down for there, so we can expect at least, let's say, 3 minutes added on at the end of the first half.
Maybe
Usually
even 4, see if they take the World Cup approach.
Back underway now with this free kick. Back to Liddell. And here's Morse. Looks to play it forward up towards Hunter. Been one of the best performers of the first half for South Shields. Number 2. Ball back to Boney, and it bounced up just before he hit it, and it's more of a high clearance, been a lengthy one, but they managed to deal with it well. It's back with the goalkeeper now.
They've been let off there. The fact that hasn't gone out for a throw-in. In fact, it's spinning around, and Smith's header couldn't quite find one of his own players. That was really poor from the goalkeeper. And it's great pressure to start the restart from Smith and Doyle.
There's Solomon Davis now in making the interception. Scarisbrick forward to Campbell. Campbell back to Doyle, all the way back to Solomon Davis now. Fixed to play it long before coming inside and then switching it out wide to Sean Smith. A little bit of space to run into for the left back. Wide now to Weir. Weir looking for a return ball if he can. Turns back. Has it nicked off him. Plays back with Barragan. Charlie Doyle. All the way back to Spittle. Good possession for Marine. Spittle back to Passant. Out wide again with Howarth. Smash forward up towards Weir. He looks to drive inside. He's got Scarisbrick ahead of him. Interesting touch on the edge of the box. Doesn't quite sit for him as he looked to shift it back onto his left foot and get his shot away. I think the last touch actually did come off of Scarisbrick.
But again, lively play from him, creating some chances, stretching the defence a little bit. You know, it wasn't a great final touch that was going to lead to the eventual shot, but you can't knock the effort of the lad.
He's had a superb first half, Andrew Scarisbrick. He's been a key player for Marine since joining a couple of months ago. The ball back now with Bailey Passant. Just taking the sting out of the game a little bit before playing it long out to Solomon Davis. A good ball, a good touch from the right back. Back to Spittle. Looks to punt it forward quickly to Sol Solomon. Miles Boney there to sweep up off his line. As we go into the final few minutes of this first half. 42 minutes played now. South Shields 1, Marine 1. Darius Asai, Jordy Mongoy gave his side the lead on 24 minutes before a diving header from Hayden Campbell evened the scores. Out wide now with Blair Adams. Plays a 1-2 with Smith. Tries to get it back, but it's picked up in there by Barragan. A little bit of frustration from the home support. A few groans. That's exactly what Marine want. The ball in from Campbell into the feet of Solomon. It's a fantastic touch to turn and open up a little bit of space, but he is tripped. It will be a free kick for Marine.
I don't know if everyone at home can hear those little moans and groans you're starting to hear from the away fans, but in a stadium that's probably got somewhere near 2,000 people, it's going to have a much more massive effect than if you were in a stadium with, say, 400, 500 people. And it's what you want to hear as the away team.
You mentioned earlier about the fans behind the goal that were making a bit of noise early on in the half. They've quieted right down since the Hayden Campbell goal. Mark Howarth stands over this free kick. Charlie Doyle, Johnny Spittle, the targets in at the back post, but picked up well by Boney off his line. Looks to spread it wide quickly, but Lucas Weir steps up well and can charge down the left wing. Before checking back to Barragan. This needs to get the ball in the box. Square ball to Charlie Doyle. Pings it out wide over towards Solomon Davis. He will get the ball in the box. No, it's blocked by Asai back doing his defensive duties. Here's Briggs. Better clearance, but only as far as Charlie Doyle. Square ball to Barragan. Doesn't quite sit for him. Lucas Weir now lets it run. Looks to take it wide. Good challenge in there from Martin Smith. Sean Smith picks it up now for Marine. Looks to recycle possession. Cut out by Martin Smith. Before the ball up towards Heaney. It's cut out by Barragan and eventually runs through to Miles Boney.
South Shields are starting to look a bit more rushed in their passes. They're trying to fire things forward when we're putting pressure on them when they're facing their own goal. And they don't have the same sort of fluidity they had in those first 25 minutes.
Yeah, they dealt with the press really well in the first 25 minutes, playing it through with midfield two of Briggs and Smith, but Marine pressure finally starting to pay off. But here's Heaney now, onto his left foot, tries his luck from 25 yards. Miles wide in the end. South Shields